everybody. Wow, it has been a minute. I did not mean to be gone until February. I have been drawing this entire time, believe it or not. I'm working on like 3 different videos simultaneously, including this one. But I low-key kept getting sidetracked by everything. I do theater, so I had a couple of shows, like 3 or 4. Then I had auditions, and I was doing schoolwork, because I have some pretty bad grades right now, if I'm honest. So I'm fine. Sorry it took so long to come out with another video. Hope you guys aren't mad. If you don't know me, hi, my name is Mistality. You can follow me on Instagram at Misty Meadow. That's mi.sty_meadow, all lowercase. I don't even know if you can you do uppercase in your handles in Instagram? I don't know. And today we are doing the art style challenge, except because this video took so long, I only did 5. I did not do all 10. I'll do more parts of this if this goes well. But yeah, let's get into it. The first style I did was My Little Pony Equestria Girls, because I think that art style is very interesting. It's way out of my comfort zone, so I wanted to start out of my comfort zone, and I think it went pretty okay. I used a handful of different characters as reference, like Applejack. By the way, the person I drew in this is me. It's my persona in these art styles. If I do another part to this, would you guys want to see my OCs? We'll look into it. Well, maybe. But yeah, I think I nailed this style down pretty well, if I'm being honest. I'm actually pretty proud of it. If there's one thing I don't like about this, though, it just feels boring. And it's okay to have a boring character design, I guess, if it's a background character, but it just feels off. I feel like a good portion of it has to do with the skin color, which maybe I'm low-key understanding why they made some of the skin tones paler. I obviously avoided that because my skin is not, I don't know if it is, but it's not really pale. I have pretty dark skin as an African American, but I feel like the skin kind of throws it off. And if you in the video, I don't know what point in the video we're at right now, but you'll see I considered just doing paler skin, and it did look better. But I was like, you know what? No, I'm not pale. I'm not gonna do that. Of course, I stick to the big skirt, big shoes formula, tiny hands. I like the shoes, honestly. The shoes are really cute, but I don't know, this doesn't feel that cohesive, so yeah. I tried to put I know the characters have their cutie mark somewhere. I was like, okay, where do I put my quote-unquote cutie mark? Which the shapes I use the most for mine is I always do the 2 exclamation points. So I did the stems, I guess, of the exclamation points connected to 1 dot, and I put that on the skirt. I don't really like that. It looks kind of odd. I made sure to do the colored line art, and I add the strands, the little lines in the hair. And honestly, all things considered, you can tell it's Equestria Girls, but you can also tell it wasn't made by the company. And honestly, that's okay. The next one I did was Avatar: Last Airbender. Live, laugh, love this show. It's so good. Actually, I haven't watched it in a while. I'm watching Legend of Korra, which I think I got to the end of the first season and then forgot to continue watching. I have such a long watch list, guys. I still haven't watched Arcane. I still need to watch Squid Game season 1 and 2. I also need to watch season 1 and 2 of Arcane. I I need to finish Legend of Korra. I need to finish watching Children of the Whales. I have a lot of shows I need to be watching. But instead, I'm on YouTube looking at... You know what? That doesn't even matter. I got distracted. So, right. Avatar: Last Airbender. It's a pretty fire show. I ended up asking my friends, like, hey, if I was in one nation, like, which nation would I be? What kind of bender would I be? And they all agreed that I was a firebender, which was interesting. I was like, really? I'm not mean, guys. And they're like, no, missed. Like, not all firebenders are mean people. That's racist. And I was like, oh. For this, I had to use... Oh, shoot. What's that girl's name? The girl with the silly girl who is, a firebender, and she's like actually really nice. I forgot her name. I feel like it's Ty something. Ty Lee? Is it Ty Lee? Oh my gosh. It is Ty Lee. I just googled it. Okay, I'm great at this. But I used her as inspirational a lot because I feel like her character design was very good at portraying that she was innocent and bubbly, despite being in like the Fire Nation, which is commonly seen as the enemy. So I used her as reference, which is why I ended up going with a like crop top and baggy pants. I experimented with like a couple of skirt styles and different hairstyles, and I just really wasn't feeling any of them. So I ended up doing the baggy pants. The colors were really interesting for me. I did use Katara as a skin reference, but still had to shade it down a little bit because she's a little more light skinned than me. I really was also interested in the shading here because the shading is like you could pretty much use black and just tone it down a lot. And it worked. I think it looks like Avatar. You could probably tell that it was Avatar. I tried to do a dynamic pose with this. I wanted to do something that would show firebending, but I didn't end up going with it because it was very difficult and I'm not comfortable in the style. It's not a style I'm familiar with. And so I would probably struggle with it on my own art style, but trying to do that with someone else's art style too was just more than I felt like dealing with. I didn't want to, go too far out of my comfort zone. I still wanted to make sure it looked like the style. So yeah, that's the Avatar style. I think I did pretty good with that one. After that so next was Lolly Rock, which is such an underrated show if you haven't watched it. It's about 3 magical princesses. It's a magical girl show, definitely. And they have crystal-based magic, and I think it's really cool. So naturally, since it is a magical girl show, I had to make myself a magical girl. And I know there already is a purple one, Carissa, Princess of Calyx. So I tried to lean to like a different shade-ish of purple, a different tone. I don't think I was too successful in that, but it's okay. We'll just say that we're both from Calyx. Okay? We'll both be from Calyx, even though that means we should have the same symbol, and we don't. For this one, it was another thing where I had to choose a symbol, but I did not want to put an exclamation mark as a gem on my outfit. So I ended up going with this, like, it's almost like those twinkles, but if you like rotated it and made it horizontal. I don't really know how to describe it, but it was a really interesting shape for me. And while I was doing this, I actually noticed that the princesses, when they're transformed, their hair is very similar to their shape, the symbol that represents them. Like for Ariana, Princess of Volta, her shape is like a crescent moon, and she has a side ponytail that is in the shape of almost a crescent moon. Iris, Princess of Ephedia, her wavy hair almost represents the curves of a heart. And for Talia, Princess of Sirius, her hair is like, at the ends of it, it kind of comes down to a point, almost like a diamond. So I tried to achieve that with the hairstyle I had, where I had 2 pigtails, and they both curved down, and the hair ties coming off of them, almost like Marinette and Miraculous. I wonder what's coming up soon. I put them sort of curved up, as in the opposite way, so it almost looked like the shapes on that weird shape that I chose. And I also included that with the bangs too, but they're also upturned. I kept the green eyes. I kept the little triangle I have on my cheek, and I kept my green eyes. Did I already say that? I think I did. The lips were sort of interesting for me because I feel like it was hard to replicate in the style. And overall, I think I achieved this style pretty well, but it's a little off. It's a little off, and that's okay. The hardest part of this was probably the little, what is that even? Like the little train that they have at the backs of their skirts. It's like almost a little cape, because I mean, obviously that one, the way I did it doesn't look anything like the show, but that's okay. I did also scale down the character and scale it back up to get it more pixelated and to sort of look showy. Overall, I think it went pretty okay though. I'm not upset by how this went. If there's anything I don't really like about this though, it's the shoes, and also I'm not sure, like they have an object that they use to transform. For Talia, it's her bracelet. For Iris, it's her necklace. For Ariana, it's her ring. I tried to do this little like thigh cuff, basically like an armband, except it's for your thigh. So I guess it's like a thigh cuff. I don't know. But I wasn't able to find any good references of how they like render the jewelry. So I'm not sure how accurate I made it. And overall, the entire vibe of the drawing is just sort of off, as I mentioned, I think. But that's all right. The hair, I feel like, is also a little strange. Like, I desperately wanted to add some shading, but I wasn't confident enough to shade it properly. Of course, since Iris is the main character, I didn't base the uniform off of Iris. I based it off the others, because gotta fit the formula, which actually made the drawing really easy. It's just you have to fit the formula. But yeah, that's the art style for Lolly Rock. Next is T-E-E-N. Okay, I can't keep singing that. I'm gonna get copyrighted or something, probably. I don't know how copyright works. I should probably research that. But next is Teen Titans Go. And this one was also, I feel like, pretty hard to replicate. And the outcome, you can tell it's based off of something, and it's vaguely familiar. But I don't know if you can automatically tell it's Teen Titans Go. But something I did notice was I used like Starfire and a lot of the girls, like Tara and Bumblebee, as reference. And I noticed that the limbs seem to get wider at the bottom, especially for the hands and like the arms and legs seem to get wider at the bottom. I think I might have made the torso too long. And the hair, I feel like, might be a little bit off. And the face and like all of it. I did, instead of having the little boob window I normally have, I made that little teardrop shape into a gem, like Starfire's, and I did reference that. I think that went well. I gave myself some earrings, because Bumblebee has earrings, even though she was clearly made to fit the little, like, sassy black girl stereotype. I'm not gonna get into that. I watched a video on that recently, though. Maybe I'll link that in the description if you want to go watch it. I found it very interesting. I did shift my color more towards the red for this instead of just normal purple, because Starfire is purple already, so I made it a little pinker, a little sort of magenta. I gave myself some gloves, and I added like half sleeves, like sort of translucent half sleeves. Overall, I think the outfit for this is really cute. I really like it. I think the eyes are accurate. The eyebrows were definitely thicker. But yeah, I'm not sure if I like how this turned out, to be honest. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about this one. I was trying to find something else to say. I'm watching the recording again. Maybe I could have chosen a more dynamic pose, I guess. Or, I know it's a very silly show. Actually, I never watched the original Teen Titans. I just watched Teen Titans Go. Let me know if I should watch Teen Titans. Maybe I will. But yeah, that's it for that one. And finally, we did Miraculous Ladybug. This one was a very hard style to replicate for obvious reasons, so I allowed myself to trace over Marinette just for this, just trace over Ladybug. Hate it if you want, I don't really care. I still ended up doing all the rendering by myself. I wanted to make sure I nailed down the anatomy, because the anatomy was not the focus for this. I wanted to make sure I replicated the stylization. I ended up basing this off of a squirrel. So this is the Squirrel Miraculous. And I made it like a nose ring, where it's like a little stud on each side of your, or maybe on one side, or both sides of your nose. And when you activate the Squirrel Miraculous, it adds like these little chains across your nose, and it almost looks like a cute little squirrel nose. I don't know. I was really proud of that. The suit was relatively easy to render, all things considered. It was I just made it very shiny. If there was one, I also added like the little hexagon pattern, because I noticed there's a little hexagon pattern in the Miraculous, sort of like on the suits. And I don't know if I like how I did the fuzz on the wrists and hips. I think it might look a little odd. I like the squirrel tail. But the squirrel tail and the ears and the fuzzies, those are all like completely done by myself, so I'm not sure if they really would match how it would look in the show. But I don't really care. I like how it looks. I actually really enjoyed coming up with a design for this one. Even though it doesn't have my main color, I think it works better without. The face, I feel like it's hard to tell if I like it or not, because on one end it does look very 3D, and I do see the Miraculous vision, but on the other end, something feels weird about it, and I'm not sure what. I like the hair. The braids I based off of Lady Noir, and I added the stray hairs, and overall, I think this one turned out pretty good. I don't really have many notes. So I guess that brings us to the end of the video. I do have a list of other styles to draw in, like Demon Slayer, My Hero Academia, Winx Club, Carmen Sandiego, Ever After High. Those are just some of the ones I have on my list. If there are any other styles you'd like to see me do, if you want me to make another part to this series, just let me know. That's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next video, whenever that will be. Hopefully I make a Valentine's video if I can lock in like 2 days. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye!